Hi guys, welcome. Wait, hold on, sorry. Ignore that side over there. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Did want to talk about something that I am passionate about. One thing that I have been focused on lately that I haven't been focused on or that I haven't really brought to this channel in a while is just maintaining your body, taking care of yourself, fitness and nutrition. And I kind of wanted to let you guys know what I'm doing to currently stay fit in the big 2026. I am actively on a fat loss journey, not weight loss. Again, ignore the background over there. Not weight loss, fat loss. I am just trying to look more toned. And a big misconception about getting toned is that to get toned, you're not like building muscle and losing fat at the same time. All you're doing is losing fat on your body to see the muscles that you already have underneath. For example, when I flex, you could kind of see that I have a bicep. Barely. I don't do a lot of heavy lifting, but the more fat I lose, the more you'll see that muscle definition. You can kind of see my arm definition a little bit. I'm not about to like change my pants for you to see my legs, but just know I was hitting those squats earlier. I did. I mean, I think you could just tell by looking at me. Like I clearly take care of myself. But yeah, I'm not necessarily professional, but I still wanted to come on here and talk about fitness and stuff because I want to talk about my fitness journey. I love fitness. I love health. I love the idea of longevity. I really want to make this video about how to stay fit once you're out of high school, out of college, because I think what people don't realize, especially if you were a student athlete, or if you didn't generally realize that the reason why you were fit in school is because you were a student athlete, and then you come out of school and now you're working a 9 to 5 desk job, and now you're getting the freshman 15, or I think they call it like the office 20 or something like that, or 25, something like that, where you just kind of start putting on weight. And it's weight, you can have weight blindness too. Like, I don't think people even realize this until the weight has come on me, for example, and that's why I keep that scale on me now. But you have to like weigh yourself regularly to like make sure that you're keeping yourself in check, which I used to never do before, and I still don't even know if I necessarily do now. But like, I weigh myself, but I also just like, check in, like making sure my clothes, whatever. But yeah, like, you could just get caught up in life, and the next thing you know, your body is changing, and maybe you're not ready for your body to change. Maybe you don't have a problem with it and you embrace it. Cool. But this video is for the people who might realize that they have to like adjust their lifestyle because their lifestyles around them is adjusting. I'm currently 25. I've experienced all of this. I've experienced going into college. I actually didn't gain the freshman 15 because my campus was so big. Like, walking the amount of walk, and then my mom didn't give me my car, so the amount of walking I was doing, I fortunately did not experience that. But what I did experience was moving back home from college and then working a 9 to 5 desk job at 9 to 6 p.m. actually in an office, and kind of just again like eating whatever, not eating whatever I wanted. I was always health conscious because I was vegan for 5 years, like from 2019 to 2020. I think it was 2025. I don't even remember now. Uh, no, 2024. So from 2019 to 2024, I believe, like around the same time I went, like, so for about 5 years, 2024, I think it was like March, May, somewhere between March and May, I stopped being vegan. And by that point, by the time I realized I gained the weight, I was still vegan. So that's another myth. If you think that being vegetarian or vegan means that you won't gain weight, that is not true. Now, when I initially went vegan back in 2019, I did lose a significant amount. Significant. I lost weight, and it was not even intentional. But was I mad at it? No, I looked pretty good. And then add walking all over that campus and not having a car and walking everywhere, I was pretty slim. I was really real. I might insert photos. I don't know. Slim for me. I mean, I'm not saying I was like withered. Like, no, I was healthy. But I was slim. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so yeah, I just really wanted to make this video for people who go into the job market, and then you realize you're putting on this weight because you go in that office, you already know when there's birthdays, they got cakes for everybody. They're bringing in cookies. Sometimes if you have a nice office, they're buying everybody lunch. They're buying this, and next thing you know, you just start taking in that. And for me, the reason why I brought up my veganism is because I already had started gaining weight. Like, by the time I realized I gained weight, I was still vegan. It wasn't even like, oh, I stopped being vegan and I put on this weight. No, I was putting on this weight when I was vegan, and I think it was from inactivity, just the slow creep of eating more treats and processed foods, and then like the inactivity overall. And I think I remember I was still trying to walk like 10,000 steps a day at that point, but I stopped doing my daily yoga. I wasn't really doing too much. And in college, I was also skating. I was big into skateboarding because I like got into that whole scene when I was in the art scene. Like, I actually learned how to skateboard at the grown ass age of like, what, 22. That's so crazy. Like, I literally did not know how to skate my whole entire life, and at 22 I was like skating nearly every day, to a point where I might actually insert a photo where I even damage myself. I tried to get into doing tricks, and then that day where my arm was swollen out to here, after that I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I stopped trying to do the tricks and now I just cruise around. I still have a skateboard. I cruise. I enjoy that on certain days. I really enjoy it, but that will get you slim out of nowhere because I also didn't even realize how slim I got during that era of just being active. And then again, you go to a 9 to 5, you're no longer active. So it took me a while to like really get a hang of everything because by the time I was on my journey to realize, okay, I need to get back active, I need to start losing weight. I was still living with my mom at the time and I was working this job. This was like the same year that I moved into here, but it was months prior. So I believe I started in March, around there, March or April ish, somewhere around there. When I was like, okay, let me start getting right. And I joined Orange Theory. And because I just went back into eating like meats and cheeses and stuff like that, I had a really hard time regulating myself around foods that I have not touched in over 5 years. Cheese was one of them. I was a big cheese lover before going vegan, but I'm not gonna lie, it took a while. That was 2024. It's now 2026, and I'm finally starting to get a normal relationship with cheese where I can have cheese in my home and not feel the need to like overeat it. Like I remember, I don't know if it was just the depletion that my body hasn't had it in so long, but I remember I would buy cheese, like put some cheese on eggs or something, and then eat that, and then I would just keep going back for more, and like next thing you know, the whole pack of cheese is gone. I know, basically, kind of like binge eating almost, but like with a like it was bad for me. Same with what else? Honestly, I don't think I really have that problem with other things. Like I think at that point, once I realized I gained the weight, one mistake you don't want to make is overly restricting yourself because I think that's also what played in part with me starting to overeat on all these foods is because next thing you know, I'm like, oh my god, I need to get right. I need to get right. I need to start counting my calories. I need to start bringing it back. Like I kind of went from one extreme to the well, I wasn't even extreme at first. I went from being lax around food to like, okay, I need to tighten up. But when you do that and you go way too extreme or you're eating way too little calories, it's going to it's going to backfire and you're going to get in a binge restrict cycle. So I highly recommend before you start your weight loss journey, you get on a scale, right? You get on a scale, you see how much you weigh, and then you're gonna go to a TDEE calculator website. I will probably put it like drop it in the bio or like put a screenshot in here of which one I would use. And you put your stats, you put your weight, your height, your age. It's like a BMI based thing. I know people have issues with BMI, but for general rule of thumb, it's just good to use. I'm not saying you need to worry about the BMI aspect, but if you're trying to get in a calorie deficit, you need to understand where you are. You can't be afraid of the scale. I remember when I first started losing weight, I wasn't even weighing myself. I was afraid of the scale because you're afraid to see what number is on there. But guess what, girl? That number, it's going to be there regardless if you weigh yourself or not. So you might as well just weigh it and figure it out because that'll just make your life easier. And so, yeah, I got that. And once you get your weight, you're going to take your total daily energy expenditure or your TDEE and minus either 200 to 500. Now, you can do as aggressive as 750, but I would not recommend that because that's the more, like, basically, the more aggressive your diet is, the more unsustainable the diet is. And this is not even dieting. This is what I would just call a simple calorie deficit because I definitely am very much I'm very much a believer in eat sustainably. You can't just start cutting things out and taking things out and act while you're like if you're trying to be in a calorie deficit, don't just start taking foods out as in like, oh, I can never have this again. Because guess what? Once you start introducing those things back into your diet, you're very more likely to gain that weight again you were because you were thinking that like, oh yeah, like like let me just like, because it doesn't make sense. Like if you're just gonna lose a weight and then finally reintroduce the foods, you're going to probably gain the weight back. Like you have to be able to have these foods still in your life while losing weight. That includes pizza, that includes things that you like. I'm not even saying you have to eat pizza, but for example, me, like there are days or what, 2 days ago, I went to Shake Shack and I got a burger. Yeah, I got a burger. Now, did I get fries? No. See, that's where the balance comes in. You have to play it smart with certain things, and you just have to make sure it's in your calorie deficit. Now, am I going to Shake Shack every day? No, that was like my first burger in like weeks, maybe even I don't even know when's the last time I even had a burger. But that's because I only just get it when I crave it. I definitely believe in getting things when you crave it, and I think 2 weeks from today or last week, I think it was actually last week, I went to Whole Foods and I got myself a little, the hot bar. I don't know if anybody knows a hot bar at Whole Foods. I got some popcorn chicken, I got some macaroni, and then I got one cookie from the little cookie thing, and I ate that. But the whole thing is balanced. Okay, I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, but I just really wanted to instill that this video is not supposed to be damaging. I feel like there's a lot of people making really damaging extreme content, and what I'm really just trying to hone in on before I go into anything else is that this is not to violently restrict yourself because that's only going to backfire. Like, I've lost weight and gained weight so many times because I was going way too hard. Like, you just can't go way too hard. There's this term in like Buddhism called the middle path or the middle way, and I feel like that, honestly, that rule applies to everything. You don't want to go too far on extremes of either end. You don't want to overeat too much. You want to be in the middle way because that is the most sustainable, right? Okay, now that we got that covered. Okay, so yeah, so I started working out. I started lifting. So now, like, if you're in the point like where you're an athlete, like I said, you could probably just start with the calorie deficit, 200 to 500 calories a day of a deficit. So you're minusing that off of your total daily expenditure, just total daily TDEE based on your current weight, right? Once you have that down, right? You can either you're now you need to track portions. You need to understand how much you eat. So I would go start with where you are. Like if you're eating 3 meals a day, start with that. Like start with wherever you're at, okay? So me personally, this has just always been my eating patterns since for years now, where I've always been like a two main meals a day and then like 1 to 2 snacks. I'm not really like a whole, I don't feel like I need 3 full meals a day, but that's just personally me. And those 2 meals that I have, they're relatively, I don't know. It really just depends on the day. Like I'm really at a point now. Like I really listen to my hunger day to day, depending on what I'm doing. There's some days where I'm not that hungry, and I don't force it. The only thing I'm really worrying about on low hunger days is just making sure that I'm prioritizing protein. But yeah, let's get into that. Once you like, hopefully you start this off and you're eating balanced. Okay, perfect. Now you want to focus on tracking. I use an app to track my food. You don't have to use an app. You could track day to day in your phone notes, or but it's honestly really good to have a backlog. In the app that I use, if you track consistently every day, it starts giving you discounts. Like I would get free food, discounts on workout clothes. Like this app that I use called the Lose It app. I'm not even sponsored. There's so many things I be promoting on this channel. I'm not sponsored. I mean, you should know that. You see how many subscribers this channel has if you're watching this. Not many, but that's okay. Like I'm just trying to put y'all on. Yeah, I use a tracking app to just keep track of everything, and it's really helpful. And again, some people think like, I don't want to track my calories, like, oh, that's too much work. You could just track portions, but it's like the results are just going to be up in the air if you don't really know exactly which, like, your input and output. I feel like when you have that, when you have when you have that data, or maybe I'm very analytical. I come from a very analytical background. I was a math major before I turned into an art major. I went all the way up to calculus 2. So that's me. And then the advertising job I did have when I was working in corporate, I was working on Excel sheets, doing algebra spreadsheets. So I love a good tracking numbers. I take myself out of it, looking at the weight, looking at the numbers, and I just treat it like a game almost. Now you don't want to get too toxic with that game, but it's just really good to have because like you'll really understand and you'll really see what you're eating. And if you want, you can just start with tracking what you typically eat and just see what your macros are. And now macros are just like proteins, fats, fiber, carbs, all that. You could say that's in the weeds because at the end of the day, calories in, calories out is all that matters. But if you want to look toned, again, if you're trying to look toned while losing weight, you want to pay attention to macros. If you don't care about paying attention to macros, ignore this part of the video. This is just for people who want to still maintain muscle. But if you want to maintain muscle, it is important to see at least how much protein you're eating. Like you could just worry about protein, fiber, and calories. Now, people always say protein and calories. I'm going to add fiber as that third one because let me explain to you quickly, simply what fiber does. Yeah, fiber helps you poo. Fiber helps you keep your stomach on flat. Like when you see the girls like who has like a flat stomach. Wait, hold on. When you see girls with that flat stomach, guess where I got that, girl? That's from the fiber. I'm telling you, if you want that flat stomach, you need that fiber in your life. Now, if you Google, a quick Google search will tell you that it's recommended to get 25 to 30 grams a day for fiber. Now, sometimes I don't even hit that. I think right now, for the past 5 days, I've been averaging like 20 grams. So don't beat yourself up. But one tip that I will say works wonders just for helping boosting your fiber. This only the almond girlies know about this. I've been deep in those almond girly algorithms. I actually knew about this for years, but I think I never like tried it. But then when I understood how important fiber was, I got on the bandwagon. Now you can get this on Amazon, Whole Foods, maybe Publix sells it. I don't know. I got this from Whole Foods, but it's psyllium husk powder. This is completely natural. It even says here, doctor recommended, gentle, soothing fiber, great for weight loss and weight maintenance. This is great because a teaspoon of this gives you about 4.5 grams of fiber. So that's already, like, let's say you're trying to hit 25. This already basically hits 5 grams for you, dang near, and all you gotta worry about is the 20. And I'll also give you some foods that are really good high in fiber foods, like the crack the code foods. Like really for fiber, if you're really trying to be serious about that, which I recommend anyone, even before protein's important, but when I was vegan, this is when I was my slimmest, my fiber was the highest. Now my protein was really low back then. That's why I don't think I looked as toned as I wanted to back then. But your girl was slim, and let me tell you, I was eating, hold up, beans, girl. Beans. I'm telling you, beans are like the highest form of protein and fiber. This is great because you can get protein and fiber at the same time. I always have in my cabinet. I'm actually out. I need to go to the store right now, but I have some beans in my fridge, that black beans, because I make Chipotle bowls at home. Bro, half a cup of beans has 7 grams of protein. Half a cup of beans has 7 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber. That's a lot, bro. Like, that's a lot. They always talk about, oh, eat your veggies, eat your veggies. Honestly, I eat my veggies, but if you're worried about fiber, just eat beans, bro. Like, just have, because if you have two servings of this, that's 12 grams. You get the psyllium husk powder, 12 plus 4, 13. That's 16, that's dang near 17 grams of fiber for having 2 servings of beans, psyllium husk powder, and then you're getting the protein too. That's already, like, okay. I feel like maybe I'm going all over the place, but yeah, you have your calories. You just practice getting in more fiber. I'm not even saying you have to track this to a T. Just work on, at least start small. Add a half a cup of beans with any dish. And beans, especially this is why garbanzo beans are my favorite, or chickpeas, what they call them. They're very, like, you could season them any kind of way. I've made buffalo chickpeas. You could do a quick salt, pepper, garlic. You can bake them. You can saute them. You can add them into stir fries. Like, I know it might not sound, you can make curries, bro. Chickpeas or garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them, they're just so versatile, and they take flavor in very well. They're pretty, what's the word, mild in flavor. Like, they kind of soak up whatever flavor they want. Lately, I've been doing buffalo chickpeas with the buffalo sauce, and then I'll do that with like a side of eggs, or like just random things. Like, you could really make this work. Or again, I'm a Chipotle girl. I grew up eating Chipotle, but instead of going to Chipotle and getting those humongous Chipotle bowls that honestly are fair in price, like, you could do that, but there's a lot of sodium in them. You could just get rice, get black beans, get some bell peppers if you want, some red onion. You could just make a bowl at home, and that's what I do. And like, it's really good macros. I get some grilled chicken strips like this. These are super easy. I also get this from Whole Foods, but I'm pretty sure you can find pre-frozen grilled. Well, I really hope so. When I go to Atlanta, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I don't know if I'll have these easy grilled chicken strips there. I might be doing long trips where I go out to get this, but this is so easy. They're already pre-cooked. All you have to do is heat them up on the stove. Oh, and then I just season it. But honestly, I'm gonna like insert photos of the foods that I eat, because I take pictures of them sometimes. Another good hack for fiber, if you like smoothies, raspberries. Raspberries are very high in fiber. So are blueberries. And I typically do like a protein powder. Oh, that's another way to get in good protein. Protein powder. Now, I've always been on the fence with protein powder. Actually, no, I've never been on the fence. When I was vegan, I was doing a vegan protein powder nearly every day. I used to have a smoothie for breakfast, or like my first meal of the day every day. Now it's just kind of like when I feel for it, but I always buy bananas, let them get super ripe, and then I freeze them individually. I don't buy the frozen bananas because they're not sweet enough if you like a sweet banana. Yeah, and what I do is I'll take some frozen banana, take some frozen blueberry, take some frozen raspberry, and then add some protein powder, some yogurt. Because protein powder, that one scoop of that is like 24 grams of protein. And then yogurt. Yogurt is another one. Let me show you the yogurt I get. Sometimes I switch it up. I'm typically doing this brand, Dan and Light and Fit, Greek yogurt. 1 cup is 80 calories. There's no added sugar. I mean, there's some artificial sweeteners, so if you have a problem with that, then I guess don't get this, but no sugar really, and it's 12 grams of protein per cup. Sometimes I get this one, or sometimes I get the Chobani zero sugar one. And I'll eat them on my own. I'll eat those on their own. I'll add them to smoothies. So good. And then they have like the little fruit jam in the bottom. It's so good. Like, boom, there goes your protein. So if you want to start eating more protein, eggs, egg whites. These are simple things that you're probably already eating. Like, sometimes I do turkey bacon, but lately I've kind of cut back on that because it's high in sodium. And that's another thing people don't realize. Like, I never cared about sodium, and still there's certain days where I feel like I have high sodium days, because what can I say? I'm black. What can I say? Us black people, we like, and seasoning your food doesn't even mean hella salt. Like, I have seasonings. Like, what? This is my seasoning drawer. You can't even see everything back there. There's more. I'm a seasoning queen. Like, okay, but I like my food, some food salty. Like, I can't lie. But I will say, if you want that sculpted face, you want your abs to pop, your ab, like, all that stuff pops out. Like sodium is just like gonna add water weight as well as carbs. Now, I am not a part of the zero carb police, but yeah, no, actually, yeah, not at all, because again, all the big fiber boosters are usually based in carbs, so I don't really understand the low carb defenders out there. Like, I don't even. And then carbs help with energy, workouts. Like I definitely am like an advocate for a balanced diet. I think you should have fiber, you should have carbs, you should have healthy fats. Oh, that's another thing, avocados. That's why I love a good Chipotle bowl, because it's so good with like getting all your macros. You can get the grilled chicken strips. I do black beans. I'll do cilantro, avocado, some lime on top, some rice. Like, I do all of it now. I just do a very reasonable portion with rice, especially if you're adding all those beans. Trust me, if you just watch your portions, you're gonna feel full. Because that's another thing. Fiber is what makes you feel full, and protein is what makes you feel satisfied. That's like the main difference. So when you combine that together, even like I'm telling you, for like anywhere from 400 to like 550 calories, you're gonna feel full for hours, especially if you do grilled chicken strips, beans, rice, avocado, throw a whole half avocado in there, bell peppers. Girl, I'm telling you, you don't like, you're gonna like fill up your plate. You're gonna feel so satisfied, and you're gonna be shocked for like how much you're getting out of it. Like you're gonna like, if you've never lived this lifestyle before, I'm telling you, it's not that like, this is not impossible to maintain, especially now. Especially, I'm still trying to slim down. That's just crazy. Believe it or not, I don't even. But that's the thing. Okay, I've slimmed down. I've slimmed down a good amount, but I'm still not exactly where I'm at. But I don't even look bad. Like the thing is, I know that it's kind of vanity weight. I know that. But who doesn't want to look like super? Honestly, yeah. Like I said, I'm not mad at this, but I'm always the type of person who wants to. I hate to say it, but
you can always be thinner, look better.
TikTok sound from the American Psycho movie. Low key, sometimes yeah, sometimes I'd be feeling that. Rule of thumb, I didn't even say this for protein. You want to do at least 0.7 grams of whatever ideal body weight you have. So whatever ideal body weight you have, put it in your head, right? Whatever you think. If let's say you want to lose 10 pounds, okay, do whatever how much you weigh minus 10 pounds, then multiply that by 0.7, right? That is how much protein you should be trying to get, and you can get up to how much your ideal body weight is. Now, me personally, I never hit that amount of even my ideal body weight. I typically just stick with the 0.7. That's good enough. Like, because again, I come from a vegan background. If you are a meat eater, the more protein, the better. Like, if you could hit your ideal grams of protein, like body weight, like let's say you want to be 140 pounds, 140 grams of protein. If you can do that sustainably, girl, you're gonna look so good. You're gonna look so snatched. I'm telling you. But me, I go for like 0.7 of that, so just a little bit more because I don't like meat like that. Like, typically, I'm really relying heavily on that protein powder. I like my eggs. I like my yogurts. I'm still kind of not vegetarian based, but I have like maybe 1 to 2 servings of meat max a day. Typically, at least one, but usually 2 is my max. Like I'm not like gorgeous. I don't know. Like I'm getting better with meat. Like I'm definitely way more like I used to be scared of meat, bro. I used to be scared of meat. I'm in a way better place, but it's okay. Like if you don't like meat, you could definitely get it from the vegetarian sources and be straight. I do. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we talked about fiber. For carbs, you could eat any kind of carbs. Don't let people scare you from eating bread. Now, do I personally eat bread on a regular basis? No, but not for the reason you think. Not because I think bread is fattening, because like I said, I also have pizza quite not often, but I'll have it like once a month, 1 to 2 times a month. I'm a pizza girl. I like pizza. Pizza's yummy. I usually go to Whole Foods and I'll just get a slice from there, like the big slices, because one slice is 450 calories, like a big like New York style slice. I love me. I like pizza. I'll eat a slice of pizza. Or sometimes I'll crave bread and I'll buy a thing of bread and I'll make like eggs with bread, avocado toast. But typically, my favorite form of carbs are complex carbohydrates. Bread is like a, what is it? It's not complex. It's a simple carb. Bread is flour. Anything flour based. So that's noodles, bread. Yeah, noodles, bread, crackers, things like that. Things that, like, when you bite into a carb and it kind of dissolves in your mouth, that's a simple carbohydrate. So the main difference, like, those work fine. Like, carbs are carbs. That is okay. Oh, fruit too. Fruit is also a simple carbohydrate, which is, again, not a bad thing. Fruit is great for you. Fruit has micronutrients. Fruit is amazing. Don't not eat fruit. Don't not eat bread. It's just, again, portions. Mind how much you're eating. Like, just just eat.
Hi, this is Editing Isis here. I'm actually so pissed because I think I accidentally turned off the mic mid-video. And so literally the rest of this video, it's literally like 30 more minutes of like me talking about, I go into this topic of fitness and what I do exercise-wise to combining with all the food tips I just told you. And I'm just so upset because it's completely gone. So this is gonna have to be the end of the video because I'm literally just yapping and you can't hear nothing that I'm saying. So yeah, just consider this part 1 and there will be a part 2. I'm trying not to beat myself up. Maybe this is a sign that my videos are too freaking long anyway. So yeah, if you'd like a part 2, please let me know. If you have any thoughts about this video, please let me know. Please subscribe if you want more content from me. But yeah, no, seriously, any thoughts or any questions that you guys have or anything that I didn't cover too deeply, like I will definitely be back to talk about this topic and talk about like health, nutrition, And yeah, part 2 will definitely probably be more focused on the fitness aspect because I genuinely don't even remember what the heck I was yapping about here. But yeah, unfortunately, the video is over and I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, okay, talk to y'all later.